Hello again. Today is March the 8th, 2012. We just finished a series on deconstruction. And before beginning that series, I talked about how often people overlook the fact that when you consciously awaken, the first step is not to then try and absorb new information and form up a new way of living. It's to actually deconstruct all of the habits, the programs that have insinuated themselves into your reality by the act of living unconsciously. So that's what deconstruction was about. The second step is not what most people would think. It's not then reconstruction. See, it's a society that has forgotten the nature of understanding, of absorption, of reflection, that would move straight from one action to another. The appropriate pattern is action, then reflection. So the second series, the one that we're going to discuss this month, is assessment. Assessment is that reflection. It's also the mind concept for the month. We just did the body concept, which was deconstruction. The mind concept is assessment. In essence, taking stock of the action that you've just taken, or more specifically, the space that you created by deconstructing. See, when you clear your house, the next step isn't to start thinking about what you're going to fill it with again. It's to sort of revel in the space that you've created. Revel in the nothingness. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your own courage. The assessment is then when you start to think about the process of refilling that house. It should be done based on a very specific model. There are three things that in essence make up this life. There's that which you need, that which you want, and that's that which you yearn for. And those are going to be the three things that we're going to discuss. The body tends to need, the mind wants, and the soul yearns. We're going to spend time in the body concept, so we're talking about needs. There's actually already a school of thought on this, and I did some research on it, and I found that in essence, a lot of things that we've labeled as needs are, well, not in fact needs at all. What they are is distorted views of what people think they need in order to, let's say, have happiness. But there's a necessity to delineate here. When I speak of a need, I mean something that is required for your continued incarnate survival. It breaks down very simply. The body concept is energy processing. You need energy, and you need a way to process it. That mainly is going to mean food. You're going to need some method of sustenance. Whether it's how you choose to go about seeking that energy is up to you. There's no morality in it. I mean, you can choose to be a vegan or a vegetarian or a carnivore or an omnivore or someone who just eats that which they desire. But there's no morality behind that decision. Actually, the best way to go about it that I found is to communicate with your body and find out what it desires to eat. And then do your best to align to that. Make no moral judgments or sort of enforce your will upon your body. Don't say, hey, we need to eat this, we need to eat that. Your body knows what it needs. It knows exactly what it needs in order to survive. What type of energy is going to provide the most sustenance for it. And it will seek that. That's what we call a craving, an urge. But there's more than that. There's also the expression of emotion. And also exercise. All of that becomes energetic processing. Once you consume energy, there's a necessity to process it. Not just biologically, but mentally and spiritually. All of them have facets within the body. So energy processing is an all-encompassing term. Meaning not only do you need to eat, you need to find an activity which is going to then utilize the energy that you consumed. And then you need to devoid yourself of anything that's left over after the body has gained what it can from the substance that you consumed. The mind concept for needs is refreshing. the mind and the body, they need, well, to be refreshed after the energetic processing. After you eat, you need to then rest. Obviously, allow your body time to process that. After you exercise, you need to drink water and stretch. Yes? After you had sex with someone, for instance, you need to spend time with that person, rolling around in the things that you just did, cuddling in essence. I guess that would be the best way to say it, but spend time energetically bonding to that person. That is a portion of the process. If you spend a lot of academic time working out the mind, studying varying concepts, matter of fact, after you hear this this recording, because it's mainly mentally stimulating, take time to rest. I mean, empty yourself out mentally and just allow silence to remain. If you want to reflect on the words, do it from the silent space. Don't think about individual snippets, don't write them down, don't highlight them. That's not going to get you anywhere. What will get you somewhere is trying to understand the essence of what I'm communicating, and then taking that essence with you into the silence. Allowing it to then take shape in your reality the way that it wants. I have no constituent agenda for how you should enact the concepts that I'm providing. What I do hope happens is that you will find that these concepts are your own. Your own. That I'm just voicing them to you. Refreshing means that for every action, energetic processing, there is a reflection. A time of then allowing the body to reconstitute itself, recharge itself slowly. Water is the main concept here. Food is the main concept of the body energetic processing. The mind concept, the main component for that is water. Drinking water. Becoming water. Where you allow fluid and unfolding change. Complexity without complication. Water is a very simple element, but is extremely complex in its application. It makes up the majority of every single living being that exists on the surface and, well, life on this planet. However, it does it by replicating itself in very simple ways. Small, minor adjustments. We've already talked about the universal architectural model. Water plays that out perfectly by accepting fluid, unfolding change. And then guiding that change in the way that pleases it most. It's what got us here. Refreshing is taking the time to praise the action and then wait for the right time to move into a new action by allowing space. The third concept for needs is haven. If you broke this down, you would see that I just did food, water, and shelter. Those are the basic needs. Those are, in fact, the basic needs for survival. If you wanted to just survive, all you would need is a steady source of food, a steady source of clean water, and a shelter. That's it. However, I'm actually providing you with the basic needs for living, not just survival. So it goes to energetic processing. It evolves to refreshing, not just water. And it evolves to haven, not just shelter. What I mean by haven is a space of not only security, but comfort. A place where when you walk into that place, it welcomes you. It is happy that you are there. It opens to you. And you can open in response. Where you can let your hair down. Take a deep breath. Put your feet up. See, this is a need for living. But make no mistake, it's not a need for survival. It's important to be able to delineate what you need for survival and what you need for living. You know why? Because you'll find that you will always have what you need for survival. It is actually part of your constituent complexion. As a human being, you have the capacity to provide what you need for survival all the time. So you never need to consciously focus on that. Get rid of the concept if you still have it, because it does you no good. You can focus on your needs for living though, because then it provides you very tangible goals that you can move towards. If you know that you need to live, or what you need to live, if you can actually list those things down, you'll find that they're just small extensions, and also that you really don't require that much. Then you won't have to accumulate a lot more stuff, because you'll find that what you need to live is a very small list of things. That haven that you create will be a very minimalistic haven for most people. Some people might feel like you need to fill your haven with trinkets and modalities. I have a studio apartment, and I fill it with things that add appreciative value to my life. Paintings that I look at every day. Stones that I interact with every day. If it doesn't fall into that category, I don't bring it into my haven, because my haven is a place that benefits and also encourages my spiritual enhancement. And I make sure that I keep it at that vibrational frequency. This moves us to a totality understanding for the second series, which is assessment, and the first topic within that series, which is needs. See, I want you to understand that I do these things for myself. I've done them already for myself. I took the time, after I deconstructed all of that which I was sold I needed. Once I deconstructed all that and got to the bare bones of survival, then I started assessing what I truly would need to accumulate into my life in order to meet just my needs for living. What I decided that I wanted, what I needed was food, healthy and nourishing food, water that vibrated at a frequency that was consistent with the person that I was, and I enjoyed tasting it. Maybe tea or coffee. Not necessarily a need, but there's something that adds sort of, substance to this life, because it's not just about surviving, it's about living, enjoying the time and the space. And also, it doesn't require that much of me to procure such a thing. And then I needed a spiritually expansive practice. Yogis would call it, yoga. Other people would call it meditative practice. Some people would call it prayer. I had no labels for exactly how it would enact, but what I did know that I needed was something that would continuously encourage me to grow in correlation to my spiritual expansion. It would also encourage me to grow in communion with my spirit. One of the needs that I have constitutionally, and this is going to be on a case-by-case basis, is the need for perpetual growth. I need, constitutionally, to grow. There's only so much growth that one can experience within the body, at least in the limited scope. The truth is that's not true at all. You can continue to grow within the body expansively for all of your life, because you can refine your understandings of what's going on within your body. It's a complex enough system that the more that you bring your consciousness into it, the more that you will realize you barely scratch the surface. The second one is the mind. You can grow infinitely within the mind in understanding applications, interplay, and also possible communion models for it. The mind, keep in mind, is not the brain. It's the lightning storm that the brain creates. If you look at a neuroscan of a child, you'll see that it's lit up to about 80 or 90%. If you look at that of an adult, it's because we specialize, it narrows down. You don't need to do that though. Then the final one is the spirit, and that one goes on indefinitely. Find that encourages you to go on indefinitely and live. I love you.